Okay, we're about 1 minute to broadcast.
So Marcus, right now, are you listening to Q?
Um, we are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Friday Night Lights, MCAETtv. We are coming to you live from North Monterey County High School here in beautiful Castroville, California. Marcos Cabrera on the microphone here in the booth with my partner, my man Bruce Deeney. How you doing this evening,
Good,
Bruce?
Marcus. Good to see you. Another Friday night here, and it's exciting to be up here at the new field and stadium. It looks great. North Monterey County looking sharp in their warm-ups and on their new field. And
You know, you just got to feel happy for this community that they have this wonderful new stadium, this new facility to be able to play on. Tons of Condor pride out here in this area, Bruce.
and homecoming tonight, so it's a fun game. Big crowd. I see a full home stands. You know, not so much that our viewers are going to see on the PG stands side, but they'll probably still be arriving a little bit. But great crowd for North Monterey County. I saw a lot of Letterman jackets around from prior years with all the writing on the side from a lot of pride up
A lot
here,
of pride.
which is great. And not a bad overall start for North Monterey County, 2-3 so far.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of good games, a game or two they wish they had back.
Right.
But
so North County comes into the game at 2-3, while PG, another very proud tradition out in the peninsula, they come in at 2-2. Got a little breakdown here from my man John Devine with the Monterey County Herald, and you can follow his stuff tonight on Twitter. We will be checking with him later on around the halftime to check out other scores around the area. But his preview this week, the Breakers ran into a defensive wall last week, being held to minus rushing yards. This is not an offense geared to win games through the air. But the defense also gave up 228 yards on the ground and nearly 350 yards in offense in a loss to San Lorenzo Valley. So PG coming in a little sputtering for their ground game, and also tough matchups, or not really up to the snuff with the matchups on defense.
no, not so far. But PG always historically has some great athletes, and they've got a lot of experience on their coaching staff, and it's surprising over the years to see them figure it out. They'll figure it out. I tip my hat to Chris Morgan and Todd Buehler over there, who've done a great job over the years. The Grays, Andy Gray and his son Jeff Gray, are on the staff for PG as well. They do a great job with relatively limited numbers over there in PG.
Right on. And then here on the home side, you were just talking a little bit about quarterback Brandu DeCousin, who has rushed for a team-high 208 yards and 5 touchdowns from North County, also thrown for 380 yards through the air. And the strength of the Condors, according to Divine, has been their defense. Riley Anderson, among the state leaders in tackles, he has 90 so far in 5 games. Conan Van Leer has compiled 8 sacks. So the Condors coming strong on defense and on the strong arm of DeCousin as we're lining up here. And it looks like they're getting ready to do the national anthem in a few moments. And we will pause to show our respects. All right, stirring rendition of our national anthem there.
So impressive start to the pregame tonight. There was a student band out playing before the game, and there was a presentation of the homecoming king and queen tonight. And something interesting, I was talking to a couple of nice young people before the game, and I said, "Well, you seem a little older for a student." And he said, "Well, I'm the homecoming king from last year, king and queen." And I guess the tradition is the homecoming king and queen come back
Oh.
the year after. So it was Eric Martinez and Nicole Anastasia that came back. Eric's at San Jose State, Nicole's at MPC, but they came back to crown Brian Corrubia. I hope I got that right, and Nelly Ortiz as this year's Brian and Nelly, the homecoming king and queen for 2018-19. So it was a nice ceremony before the game.
Right on. And here in Condor Country, they got to be really happy with those results. We're getting ready to start the game here. Pacific Grove getting ready to line up. North County huddled up on the sideline. And, both these schools with really strong tradition, as I mentioned earlier, Bruce. And here on a homecoming night, this is the first time that both teams have been in the same league since 1979.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's the research that John Devine has provided for us. So, it's been a while.
Well, with the realignment, there's some interesting matchups. I'm sure we'll be talking later about Hollister at Christopher and Seaside at Aptos, and interesting game Carmel up at Monte Vista Christian tonight. So it'll be interesting to see just how this plays out as we get into the meat of league play, just how well this realignment is working.
Right. We still got a couple minutes to go here. What do you remember about homecoming night, Coach? Was there any with the extra long? They usually take a couple extra minutes during the halftime ceremony. Was there any lag in the locker room? Having to wait to get back into the field.
You always want to get right back out on the field, but I think the adrenaline of the night for the kids and seeing the crowd certainly makes up for that. I mean, these kids want to play really well in front of their home crowd, and the visiting team always wants to be the spoiler too. You want to be that team that spoils the homecoming. So I'm looking forward to tonight's game. PG is sort of looking for their identity as on both sides of the ball, and if this North Monterey County defense picks up, I think this is going to be a terrific game.
And that was a little squid. Looked like a squib that barely went to the 40-yard line there. So the ball's going to get marked. Excellent field position for the Condors there to open up here. It's going to get marked down to 41.
And Marcus, I'd like to apologize a little bit to our PG viewers, because we're going to have a very tough time with the PG numbers, seeing them from our angle up here. We'll do the best that we can. But the yellow numbers in a night game with the lights are tough to see.
As DeCousin lines up in the shotgun formation to start the game. 11:47 here in the first quarter for the first down from scrimmage. And this is going to be DeCousin. Pat drops back, but he's going to pick it straight up the middle. He's going to get huge yards here, going inside near the 35, near the PG 35. Gets into PG territory. That ball's going to get marked down at the 37-yard line. So first play from scrimmage, DeCousin already on the move.
I think that's going to set the tone right there. I mean, with what we've seen on film from DeCousin's all season long, and his ability to throw the ball and realize in that case it was pretty good coverage by Pacific Grove. They cut off the deep routes, and DeCousin's had nowhere to go but straight up the middle. So nice run.
Made a quick decision, and it paid dividends as DeCousin's back in that shotgun. And that's going to be a handoff going over to, looks like to Oscar Diaz Vega, number 32 for the Condors, but he's going to take it for a loss of about 6 on that one. 11 minutes here on the clock in the first quarter. Condors will get marked down back to about the 41-yard line, second about 16. Condors looking really sharp in those unis tonight. Cousins takes a snap, and that's going to be a handoff over to number 21, Andrew Jara Rodriguez. And that's going to get them close to the original line of scrimmage. Ball will be marked down at 38. It'll be 3rd and 11 for the Condors.
Put down that looked like that was Matt Alvarado on that stop.
The Breakers making up for that first breakdown on defense. Have the Condors at 3rd and long as we approach 10 minutes here in the first quarter. The Cousins drops back into the pocket, has some defenders, now scrambles out of the pocket, has a wide open receiver. That's going to be number 5, Isaiah Solorio, but we do have a flag down near the 45-yard line. We'll see what the refs do. That was a touchdown, a 37-yard touchdown pass, but that's going to be negated on a holding call.
Yeah, he looked good on that, but yeah, that will come back.
Yeah, the Cousins, he had the receiver wide open there. And really good vision on that play for the Cousin.
And one of his favorite receivers right there, that's Isaiah Solorio.
So that's going to get marked back into Condor territory at the 48-yard line, and it's looking like 3rd and probably about 24 yards. 9 minutes and 51 seconds on the clock here in the first quarter. Dick Cousins has a spread. And here comes the defense. Dick Cousins trying to move to his left, but he's going to get dragged down for a sack. That's going to be a loss of 3. Ball will get marked down at the 45, and we will see the punt team come out here for the Condors. So,
looked like Parker McAnally there.
Condors had
or John Carrick on that stop.
We got to see some of the bright spots, the high points here on the Condors offense with Dick Cousins using his legs and his arm, but to no avail, unfortunately.
The PG defense did very well on their coverage, and so it forced that couple inside runs on that last drive, and it looks like the PG line held up very well. So this may very well come down to a test on whoever controls that line of scrimmage, which is true for most
That's the
high
game
school
of
football
football
games for sure. If you can control that line of scrimmage, it gives you lots of time, especially when you want to throw the ball and some teams throw to run, and I think has been the style here up at North Salinas. And if you can spread that defense out and then try to run up the middle, that's a very good strategy.
9:11 on the clock here in the first quarter. Ball marked down at the 24-yard line as the Breakers come in on offense, and they're right off the bat looks like they're going to get a defensive offsides. So that'll be a free 5 yards for the Breakers offense. And we're in the booth today, partner.
Hey, it's nice up here.
We're living in the lap of luxury. Last couple of games, we've been kind of roughing it, but it's nice to be able to sit back and have something comfortable to sit on as the Breakers get the ball. Maybe about a 2-yard gain for Pacific Grove. The ball's going to get marked down at about the 32-yard line.
Christian Moreno made that stop. Defensive lineman for North County.
Breakers will have 2nd and about 3 to go here.
And PG, they want to run the ball this year. They want to be able to move the ball, and so their ability to do that, really will hinge on the offensive line's ability to move North County off the ball.
As that handoff over to looks like Shianti Carter, that's going to be for about a 2-yard gain. That'll give him a 3rd and about 1. Ball marked down near the 34-yard line, 33-yard line rather. As we get close to the 8-minute mark here in the first quarter. There's a little handoff. That looks like the Breakers are going to be able to get a first down. That ball's going to get marked down near the 42-yard line. I'm sorry, the 38-yard line.
Yeah, not much there, just a little off tackle.
But definitely good enough.
Enough for a first down.
Enough for a first down there.
And in that case, the coach wants to just go for get the first down.
Yes.
Get the first down and get it back to first down and give them a lot more flexibility. Don't try to do too much, especially early in the game.
Breakers working to gain some momentum here. And that's going to be a handoff over to the left-hand side for a gain of about 3 yards. As my partner mentioned earlier, a little hard to see the PG Breakers jerseys. We apologize for not being able to identify some of the players as we go along here. But that'll be a second down, ball marked at the 41-yard line. We are under the 7-minute mark here in the first quarter. This game's moving along really quickly so far, Bruce.
That's how you keep the ball on the ground. The game goes fast tonight, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was a nice little option there. Handoff over to Blake Moore. He's going to get a big chunk of yardage. Ball get marked down near the 47-yard line as we get to under 6 minutes and 30 seconds here in the first quarter. Pacific Grove playing error-free so far and able to make some gains, move into Condor territory.
Stretching that play out, a lot of the defensive ends are told to contain. He did a pretty good job, but by the time he stretched that out, he gave a little bit too much ground. So he never quite turned the corner, but it was a nice arching run and enough for another first down.
And that's going to be a handoff over to Chianti Carter. And Carter's going to get about 3 yards as they get under the 45-yard line. Ball be marked at the 44. And we're at the 6-minute mark here in the first quarter. Pacific Grove playing a really clean style so far here with their first possession this first series. Under center. And this is going to be a handoff over to the left-hand side. And that is going to be a big run.
Looks like Carter again, and unfortunately a flag on that play, so we don't know yet what's going to happen, but Carter looking very powerful on that run.
Yeah, and he kept moving. He stayed in bounds, really tiptoed the sideline there. Got at least another 4 or 5 yards by keeping his balance.
Pretty nimble for a big guy there.
Yeah.
Powerful runner.
And he flew about 5 feet in the air, but that is going to be negated by a holding penalty. So that's going to bring the Breakers back into their own territory, just barely. Ball marked down at the 49-yard line, 5:28 to go here in the first quarter. And that is going to be the first penalty for the Breakers, costly one because that was a really big gain.
They've put together a nice drive so far. So
second and about 15.
Interesting
and that
call.
Was a little screen pass,
screen.
And that was a really dangerous play.
That's tough to throw that ball. If that's picked, that's a touchdown.
That looked like Isaiah Solorio maybe got a couple of fingers on that one, maybe his fingertips on that, but with an athlete like Solorio right there in the midst, and you air that ball out, you're playing with fire.
PG does have a height advantage, so when you look at that matchup, it might be tempting. It's risky pass to throw it out there. Under center now. That's interesting.
And that was movement. That looked like it was Chianti Carter moved just a touch. And I see the Breakers incorporating that late 3-point stance in their alignment. So, it's nice. Sometimes you can catch the defense off guard, but you also run the risk of maybe your players throwing off their timing a little bit.
Takes a lot of discipline to be able to pull that off. Now they're faced with third and about. Marcus, can you count that high?
That's about 3rd and 20. I'm going to just call it 3rd and 20, but the ball is marked down now at the 44-yard line. So the Breakers were in Condor territory, now facing a 3rd and very long. And on that sweep play, that will be to the right-hand side. That was number 2, Blake Moore, but there will be nothing going there maybe a gain of a half yard on that. At the most, the Breakers will be forced to punt. As we approach the 4-minute mark here in the first quarter, so what we've seen so far from both sides, some pretty nice gains, a little bit of exposure as far as what their strengths are, but penalties.
Penalties, and a little bit like a boxing match where the first round or two, they're just getting a feel for each other, and uh, no big punches yet. Neither team has shown too much.
As the Breakers and Ruby, that looked like Solorio rather, decided at the last moment to try and field that and caught it off of his shoestrings. Very fortunate to secure the ball there. That'll get marked down at the 28-yard line with 3 minutes and 37 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Both teams relying primarily on the ground game with a couple of screen passes and looks here and there.
Solorio actually fielded that ball pretty well there, given the. I don't know if he misjudged it or not, but he caught it down by his and covered it really well.
Yes.
And that's what you want your players to do, just cover that ball.
As we'll get our second look at Brandon DeCousins in the shotgun. DeCousin. And that's going to be a nice handoff here for about 4 yards. And that was David Robles on the handoff. So the ball will be marked down at the 31-yard line. Second and about 6 for the Condors.
Damon Robles, one of two players to come over from Monte Vista Christian this year. Damon Robles and a wide receiver, Cyrus Kofelt, who we may see later tonight as well.
And you have some familiarity with those players, don't you, Bruce?
Oh, absolutely. Great kids. Great kids. They coached both of those boys last year, and both terrific teammates, good friends to a lot of kids, and nice football players, too.
Robles gets the gain of about 8 yards. That will be enough for a first down. Ball marked down at the 39-yard line. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Condors, when they're able to be disciplined, they've been able to move the ball here so far, almost at will.
That's to Robles again.
And Robles gets a 1-yard gain on a little handoff over to the left-hand side. So at least for this first 4 plays of the series, DeCousin opting to just
going to Robles, running the ball.
Yep. Just hand it off.
And maybe trying to pull that PG defense in a little bit. Let's see with his second down what kind of coverage PG gets. But if we get a little press coverage, maybe we'll see one of those receivers in a one-on-one situation that I know DeCousins likes when he throws the ball.
DeCousin in the shotgun. Option play. He will hold on to it, and he's dances around, and he has first down yardage. That ball's going to get marked into Breakers territory. Ball marked down at the 45-yard line. So DeCousin showing his athleticism there, making a lot of quick decisions there with the option, reading the defense and finding those holes.
And PG doing a good job of tightening up in their secondary, not allowing a lot of those, especially the deep receivers, to get open. So.
It's tough though when a player like DeCousin can just call his number and make a good decision there.
Well, he's so fluid. Again, he's got great field vision. There he goes again. And
there he goes again. He hits the sideline. He may take this one all the way. Turns on the jet burners. That will be a 45-yard touchdown. Brandon DeCousin with 1 minute and 8 seconds to go here. Just taking the situation into his own hands, saw what the defense gave him, and they gave him a lot of yardage there.
And right now, PG is going to have to worry about the breakdown in their linebacker core because he got outside, never should get outside, and he was basically gone. So
I was really impressed with the way that he once he hit that second level and just turned it on. There was really no stopping him, even though you saw some defenders in that area.
Yeah, he's got good size, good speed, and he's about close to 200 pounds, 185, maybe 190 pounds, 6 feet tall. Good field vision.
As we got a penalty, looks like, on the field. And you were talking about this a couple of games ago that there's no real penalty for offsides on a kick. So
so might as well just try to jump it. I actually I think this works as a disadvantage to the offense. So it's an interesting penalty that, why not just jump and keep moving?
As we get some trickery here, and that's going to be DeCousin takes the snap and he pitches it over to Lupe Sanchez, and they're going to get the 2-point conversion. So they actually took advantage of the little half yard that they got on that penalty.
And they might have caught PG sleeping a little bit. PG, we'll see it tonight once they get in the end zone. They like to run what's called that swinging gate. Mm-hmm. So they line up in a pretty unique formation on the extra point. And it's all based on if they see they have more numbers on one particular side of the field, they'll run the ball or they'll throw the ball. And if they don't see what they like, then they'll just line it up in a kick formation and kick the extra point. But
when was the ideal time for you to call some of those trick plays for you?
Well, in that case, like the swinging gate, Carmel does that a lot, and PG, you see that a lot, and really that's trying to take advantage of maybe kids being a little tired after a big play on defense, getting back a little bit late, getting caught off guard. But you never know if a trick play. Most people know if they have a situation that plays out that they might be looking for it, but it really is situational. Most trick plays, I venture to guess you never see because there's not the opportunity to use them.
As a coach, would it irk you seeing that this early in the game like this?
No, you have to be ready for it. That's this is all about taking advantage of what the other team gives you, and if they see an opportunity to do that, then that's exactly when you should run it.
PG will fill the ball down near the 30-yard line, and they're going to get about a good 6 yards on that return. Ball will be marked down at the 38-yard line. We have 1 minute to go here in the first quarter. North County with a 8-0 lead after a 45-yard touchdown run by Brandon DeCousin here in the first quarter. Marcos Cabrera with Bruce Dini. Friday Night Lights, MCAETtv. We are live from Condor Country, North Monterey County High School, as a matchup between two long-standing traditions here. Two schools with a lot of tradition, a lot of pride, and now playing in league together for the first time in a while. PG with the handoff, and that's going to go for a nice gain. That is Blake Moore going up the middle, getting the handoff over the right-hand side, and he's going to get the ball into Condor territory. Ball marked down at the 49.
So what PG is doing right now is they're running a little misdirection, and so the key for North County will be, and we talked about this last week. If we have listeners that were watching the game against Greenfield, how important gap control is, and people staying right in that gap. That if you're a defensive tackle, you're right in between the center and the guard, and you just stay there. You don't want to watch the ball. You don't want anyone to move you.
And that is a wide open receiver for the Breakers. They're going to get the ball now inside the 20. Ball get marked down around the 17-yard line. Pacific Grove now in business here.
That's Jake Hanley, and Jake Hanley was the leading receiver for PG last year, so definitely a threat.
And we're approaching the end of the first quarter. Breakers do have maybe 10 seconds to go if they want to try and run one last play here. Try and catch the Condors on their heels. Clock running down, 2-1. They will not get the play off in time for the end of the first quarter. North County with the 8-0 lead, but the Breakers knocking on the door. We will take a quick break, and we will be right back after this message.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
And Marcos, it sure is nice to be inside and have a nice warm booth on a Friday night. I love the Friday night. I like the chill in the air, but when that sun goes down, it's nice to be inside.
Let's just go ahead and say it, Bruce. We're too old to be hanging
Oh, are you
outside.
kidding me? Come on, come on.
I'm not ashamed to say
you're
it,
only
man.
old as you feel.
I need to be in a nice warm booth like we got here. I'm feeling really spoiled right now, and that's a shout out to Mike Phillips, the North County AD, for hooking up the booth for us tonight. The Breakers with the ball at the 18. That's going to be a handoff, pounding for yardage. The Breakers will get maybe back to the original line of scrimmage if it's not a loss.
A nice little fold block inside, but the North County line really pinching in on that play and again stopped him up. There's nowhere to go on the inside there. Good job by North County.
And this will be a 2nd and 10 ball mark down still at the 18-yard line as we are approaching 11 minutes and 30 seconds here in the second quarter. Breakers, and that's going to be just a complete breakdown as the Breakers fumbled the snap there.
And looked like Spencer Gonzalez to get on top of that, or that might have been, excuse me.
Yeah, Gonzalez's play. Gonzalez's name, rather, getting called on that one.
Nice heads-up play. Good pursuit there.
And this is going to be a 3rd down and very long. Ball marked down near the 23-yard line as we are under 11 minutes to go. 3rd and about 16 for the Breakers. And he has a wide open receiver down the right-hand side, but just out of his reach there. And that would have been a quick 6 there.
Good timing play. They probably practice that all the time in practice. Run through that. That's just a one-step, 1/1000 let go of that ball. But interesting that they choose on the last couple 3rd and long situations, they've chose to go under center.
And Hanley was the intended receiver, number 10, on that play. And it looks like the Breakers will now line up for a field goal. This is going to be close to a 40-yard attempt, as I can't tell, but I think that's Sergey Mendoza. And that is a boot, but it is going to be wide left, just wide left on that kick, but there was plenty of distance and air under that one. Really solid kick.
That's a lot of confidence in your kicker in high school. Usually when you're in that or just around the red zone area early in the game, a lot of high schools, unless you have a lot of confidence in that kicker, will tend to go for that first down.
Yeah, and it's a nice weapon when you have a kicker that can kick at that length in high school. As the ball get marked down at the 20-yard line, 10 minutes and 36 seconds to go here in the first half. Dick Cousin back in that shotgun formation.
He does not have the ball. Okay? He doesn't.
And that's going to be a handoff over to Oscar Diaz-Vega. Vega coming in motion to the right side. Didn't get much on that, though. No gain.
PG defensive line really penetrated there. It looked like they were in some kind of a zone blocking discipline there on the North County line, but PG, good penetration.
2nd and 10 for the Condors. The ball still at the 20-yard line.
Sean Gomes at the head of head coach for North County, doing a great job up here. Has built a terrific coaching staff. A lot of these guys been around the game for a long, long time, and Sean's one of those guys that does it right. He's got a great attitude with the boys, great demeanor on and off the field with them, and I know they respect the heck out of him up here, and he's done a great job up here. Last year was tough for the Condors. They were a 2-8 season, which they didn't expect, but that happens. There's a seasonality in this thing, and every once in a while you're going to struggle, and it's nice to see him digging in with these boys. They've got a great leadership. I know that Conan Van Leer, definitely one of the senior leaders on this team, defensive player for the most part. They've done a great job. Done a great job.
As DeCousins in the shotgun for a third and about 11, looking to his left, has an open receiver, and that was intended for Abel Ruiz, but just unable to get it into his hands, as that ball will go incomplete, and it'll be a fourth down. The Condors will attempt to kick. He had Ruiz on a nice route there, just couldn't get the just the right touch on that pass.
Right, and if you're a quarterback who has an inclination to run, sometimes that can work against you because you're always thinking run, run, run rather than step up. And really, are you going to find that receiver?
Right.
So it can throw you off a little bit.
As the ball is snapped, and that is going to be a real line drive. It's going to take a slight Condors bounce and fall somewhere near the 43-yard line.
So PG with pretty good field position again.
Yes, and the Breakers will try and get something going here, as a couple of stalled possessions have left them with the big 0 on the scoreboard. 9:16 to go here in the first half. The Breakers will regain possession of the ball.
And you look at that, there's Chris Morgan on the sidelines. I don't think I've ever seen Chris Morgan in the 10 years that I've known him wear long pants. It could be freezing out here. So there's Chris Morgan in his shorts there again. And that ball's on the ground there.
And that was, it looked like it was an option, but he just didn't pull that out right at the right time there. And that is a big loss for the Breakers. They're going to get the ball down inside the 30, at the 38-yard line.
PG had a tough year last year, too. PG, great tradition, 14-time MTAL league champion, but went 1-9 last year. Unusual year for PG. A lot went wrong that had nothing to do with the coaching staff or the school or anything, but just key injuries. They had one game out in the Central Valley that was postponed or because it got so hot out there.
Oh, wow.
And, we're coming from the coastal fog out into the Central Valley. Those probably just got off the bus and just started to melt like butter. But they were down to in the teens of players, which is highly unusual for PG.
Wow.
But so Chris Morgan and his staff, Todd Bowler and the Grays just do an amazing job year in, year out,
right,
fielding competitive teams and recovering from a year like last year. I mean, at this point, they're 2-2. They've won more games than they won all of last year.
As Albert drops back, and he has a receiver wide open in the flat, that's going to get a good gain. But it won't be enough, as that was a 3rd and long. That was a nice pass over to Anthony Basila, looks like.
Yeah. Good running, too. Put his shoulder down, but not enough.
Not enough. And the Breakers will go for another punt. This will be I believe, their 4th punt in this first half. And we got Solorio back for the punt, and we have some penalties. We have some flags, rather, on the field. And these are going to go.
Is that too many men?
Yep, it
yeah,
looks
too
like
many
it's
men on
too
North
many
County
men on the field. So we'll see. This is going to be really close to first down yardage. The Breakers maybe a half yard short. We'll see what the spot says.
That looks like
it looks like they're going to get it. They're going to get the first down on that. So
they might have to measure this one. They may have to. There's Chris Morgan telling them where they should place the ball right there. So this may be a first down, but they might be measuring. Oh, now they're moving the ball around a little bit.
Yeah, where they originally
it's come back about a foot, I think.
Where they're spotting it now is where I figured they would spot it.
That might be a situation where the umpire said, "Well, I don't think it should count for a first down."
But
I'll tell you that kind of call on the sideline drives the coach crazy.
And it looks like the Breakers are going to go ahead and go for it here with the ball marked down at the 47-yard line.
hard count if nothing else.
Yep, they're going to go right for it.
Up the gut. Up the
And
gut.
it looks like they're going to get enough. That was a yard for the first down. The Breakers will get the ball.
Okay, so that's an important first down. That's when you look your boys in the eyes and say, look, I need a yard.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get me a yard? And they can go get you that yard, which is really important. So it's these little things in the game that build confidence for the players, and that could be a confidence boost for PG right now.
And that was a huge swing from
they get a
being
penalty.
5 yards short on that nice screen to the flat. To now they got a first down. That's a tough break for the Condors, as he has a wide open receiver. Did he keep his toes in bounds?
The guy just runs right by him.
I don't know if we can get a replay on this.
It looked like looks like his toes were down, and just a matter of from our angle, I couldn't tell if they were in bounds or not. But a nice athletic catch.
Yeah, Breakers receiver there, trying his best to be conscious of his position, but just couldn't make it happen.
It was slapped.
And now we are going to have a timeout. Looks like North County is going to call a timeout, so we're going to take this time to have a quick break. We'll be right back after this brief message.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
And we are back here for Friday Night Lights, MCAETtv, North Monterey County against Pacific Grove. The Condors with an 8-0 lead. 6 minutes and 16 seconds to go here in the first half, Bruce. What are you noticing from both sides so far in this game?
Well, it almost seems like there's some cobwebs and some of the players missing some assignments, but we're now starting to see the great play by PG.
And Albert has the receiver wide open as he gets in to Condor territory. It looks like that's going to be in for a touchdown. 46 yards on that touchdown pass. And that was the Breakers must have noticed the hold there in the defense, because they went back to that play after they had success on third down a couple of plays ago.
Exactly. Nice little crossing screen, sort of a short screen with those outside receivers, those receivers that are split out. And great work on PG. Nice recognition by quarterback Freddie Albert. See that? Put the ball right in, nice and gentle. It's a finesse pass there. So this is the Pacific Grove swinging gate. So again, if they snap this ball right now, they're going to throw that ball out to the left. But North County moving their players out to cover that.
And after a rough snap, they recover, and
that's no good.
That is no good.
That's no good. So that 2-point conversion now could be a real factor in this game.
Yes, especially given that PG missed the field goal attempt earlier, which could have still given them a bit of a lead if they were able to convert that. But now 8-6 here in the second quarter. 5:55 on the clock.
Sean Gomes making sure that they've got 11 guys on the kickoff team right here.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Hey guys, how are you today?
Good.
I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I bring the Halo world to life.
Is that you?
That is me. I wasn't a math genius and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things.
I want your job.
I want you to have my job.
And we are back here as the Breakers line up to kick off to the Condors 5:55 to go here in the first quarter. We're going to get to John J. Devine on Twitter, check in a couple of scores in a bit. The Breakers with the line drive kick. And that looks like it's Lupe Sanchez finding some room, going over to his left side, trying to hit that sideline. He's going to get the ball near midfield. That ball should get marked down somewhere near the 49-yard line. So really nice.
Great job by Sanchez. Great job by Sanchez keeping his feet there and keeping his feet moving. That's so important for these young running backs, is to just keep their feet moving.
Right.
And so many good things can happen if you just keep grinding.
Good recognition by Sanchez as well. Able to find the little crease to get that extra 10 yards when it looked like he may have been down closer to the 40-yard line. As DeCousin stands back in the shotgun. And that is a really bad snap, and DeCousin recovers. He's looking for a receiver. Has a receiver open to the left-hand side, and just at the last minute, that gets swatted away. Ball intended for number 46, Harrison Thompson.
Showing great arm strength. He launched that ball 50 yards in falling backwards out of bounds. And so good arm strength, and he had a receiver. So when you have that receiver on top of the defense, you want to try to make that throw, even if you're falling down backwards out of bounds.
Had the receiver open. I mean, if you're a PG coach right now, you got to be thinking, what do we got to do, man? This guy can make things happen. Even on a bad snap, DeCousin stays in the pocket, has a receiver open. That's going to be a completion. And it looks like it's this time he connected with Thompson. That ball get marked down at the 39-yard line. The Condors in Breaker territory.
Pass and catch. That's a nice-looking play right there. Put the ball in the perfect place.
Yeah.
There's no way the defense could get a hand on that ball.
Yeah, Thompson was just like a little curl route on that, and had plenty of space to work with there. We're getting close to the 5-minute mark here in this first half as the Condors looking to get further into Breaker territory. DeCousin in the shotgun, flanked by a running back, and that's going to be a handoff, but nothing doing. That's going to be a handoff. Looks like it's to Robles, yes. So Damon Robles takes the loss. That's going to be about 3 yards. Ball get marked down at the 41-yard line now.
There's the Condor. Does the Condor have a name? I
didn't catch the name of it, but I know one of our producers in the truck, Dylan, was noting how cool the Condor mascot is. We'll try and get the name for that for the second half. DeCousin in the shotgun. Hands off to Robles, and this time Robles has tons of room. He's going to take it to the house. Wow, 41 yards. Damon Robles.
So Damon Robles from Monte Vista Christian coming in and making a big impact right away from for North Monterey County.
You taught him everything he knows.
No. Great kid.
41-yard touchdown run by Robles, and that's going to make up for the Condors giving up that touchdown on the last series against the Breakers, as we await the extra point attempt by Eduardo Hernandez. And that goes up, and that is no good. So 14-6, North County with the lead.
So that, again, that 2-point conversion at the very beginning of the game, very meaningful right now.
Right. And we're going to take a quick break. We have 4 minutes, 11 seconds on the clock. We'll be right back after this brief message.
This program on MCAETtv is brought to you in part by the good folks from Technology and Operations at the Monterey County Office of Education, with leadership, support, and service to prepare all students for success.
We are back, MCAETtv Friday Night Lights here in Condor Country, North Monterey County High School. where the Condors have a 14-6 lead over the Pacific Grove Breakers. Marcos Cabrera here with my partner, Bruce Deeney. And Bruce, just what did you like about that Robles run, man?
Well, he just put his head down and went through that line. The North County did a great job opening up a nice big hole for him. I think he got through. I don't know if we'll be able to see a replay of that if we can, but he got about 10, 15 yards past the line of scrimmage, and I think he was just about as surprised as everybody else. He turned around and said, "Hey, what am I doing out here?" And oh, good, my job is to just run now. And so it couldn't be happier for Damon to find that end zone. So great run on that play.
And Hernandez lines up for the kick, and that's going to get fielded somewhere near the 20-yard line.
We could have a return here.
And the Breakers going to find some room, and wow, that was really close to a horse collar there. Refs just, maybe they didn't see it, but number 10, Jake Hanley, with a nice return. That's going to get the ball near the 40 at the 38-yard line.
So we'll see what PG can put together here in the waning moments of the first half. So far, they had a couple of nice drives that got negated by a penalty or two, and found the end zone on a terrific play. But for the most part, it's been all North County in the first half.
And Albert under center, and that's going to be a handoff over to Hanley. Tries to get up the middle, maybe gets a couple of yards there. So interesting that they've been using Hanley in a couple of different situations there. I think that may have been the second handoff to him in this game.
Yeah, they in that sort of speed option across it's a sort of a belly handoff. He's coming from that slot receiver spot, trying to get outside in a hurry and get an edge, especially with that pulling guard. If you can get that pulling guard and kick that defensive end out or that linebacker, and he can get inside of him, then that's a good play.
And that was a pitch over to the left-hand side, but there is a flag on the play. And that could be a holding penalty. That will be a holding penalty against the Breakers, so that's going to bring the ball back somewhere near the 30-yard line. Not much going on that play anyways, but now that really puts the Breakers in a tough situation with 3 minutes and 24 seconds to go here in the first half. Ball gets marked down right at the 30-yard line.
So second and a long way to go for PG.
And we'll see if
your offensive coordinator hates these calls.
Right.
The second and long. It just drives them crazy. They're looking all through their playbook of what's going to work here. And
as Albert goes back, and he's going for that screen again. And that was really close to being a fumble there.
Coverage by North County.
And they just sniffed that out. They were fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. They weren't going to get fooled a third time with that screen. And the Breakers are going to face a really tough 3rd and about 20 with the ball marked, 3rd and 18 rather, with the ball marked down at the 30-yard line. This really narrows down the playbook here for the Breakers when you're in this situation. As you
definitely a throwing situation. We've seen him under center. We've seen Albert under center on these 3rd and long situations. So they've got PG's got to take that time out. So, they're trying to set I wish I could draw it on the screen, but it's a screen between the trip receivers. So you've got one receiver running the actual screen route, and you've got 2 of them out there blocking for him. So it's what they scored on the opposite side of the field on their touchdown. So looked like they might have been trying to set something like that up. But in a situation like this, 3rd and long, you're backed up at this point. They want these boys to know exactly what coach wants them to do.
Right.
So they don't want any guesswork. So in this case, it might just be, hey boys, just take a deep breath. You know what you're supposed to do. And no mistakes, just go out and execute.
Haven't seen Albert try and connect with Hanley on anything deep so far. in this game that I can recall.
No, but connected for about 130 yards so far this season.
Albert drops back, has some defenders in his face.
Yeah.
And
that looked like that receiver may have stopped running down there.
Yeah. But in any event, it was going to be out of his reach as that ball sailed maybe about 5 feet over his head near the left sideline, and that is going to bring up a 4th down with 2 minutes and 44 seconds to go. So the Breakers
not able to convert there on that 3rd down, and got pushed back. Couple of penalties, that little screen that lost about 3 or 4 yards. So just not much, not being able to move that ball like they want to do. High snap.
And here comes the punt.
That's a nice punt. Gets that ball to turn over.
And that'll get marked down somewhere near the 35-yard line with 2 minutes and 38 seconds to go here in this first half. The Condors will get one last shot to try and build up on this lead. 14-6 so far here in the second quarter. Friday Night Lights with MCAETtv. We are live in Condor Country, North Monterey County High School. Marcus Cabrera, Bruce Deeney.
Great night up here again, Marcus. Good night with the great fans, and it will be interesting to see what Coach Gomes goes with here.
I want to see some more from your boy Robles here.
Yeah, he's been running the ball well. He's been running the ball very well.
And this is going to be a long pass attempt. And that was intended for number 89, Cyrus Kofelt.
That's Cyrus Kofelt, another transfer student from Monte Vista. So Cyrus also a very good basketball player.
And he looked like he may have had a step. Couldn't quite get a lot of separation there, but the ball was just a few yards out of his reach anyway. 2 minutes and 33 seconds now here in the first half. As DeCousin in the shotgun. Breakers showing blitz. And they're right in the kitchen. Robles making something happen there. And that's going to be a good gain of about 5 yards.
Keeping his feet going there. Again, for both Robles and Kofelt, this is their first game. They because of the transfer rules, they had to sit out through the first game of league play. So this is the first game that they're actually eligible, which is their second league game.
And Robles making huge contributions so far.
No,
That's going to be
everyone's moving on that one.
Yeah, there was a lot of confusion on the Condors side, and that's going to be a 5-yard loss. That's going to put them back close to the original line of scrimmage. This will be a 3rd and long. So after that strong run by Robles to put him in a decent position to try and convert the first down, negates everything.
So a couple of big plays. This has been the half of a couple of big plays. Nothing like we saw last week with these sustained long running drives. But
right.
Looks like both teams trying to establish some sort of passing game and not quite being able to do that. Hence caught with these 3rd and long situations.
And DeCousin has an open receiver. That's Riley Anderson. He's going to get to the right sideline, get inside the 20-yard line. So really nice route by Anderson right there, going for that slant and able to get big yardage.
Great run after the catch there on that as well. Anderson showing his athleticism, just tight roping down the sideline there.
1:24 to go here in.
Hey, look at that! That's us. We're up here. We're up here styling in the booth tonight.
We are so comfy, and that is a handoff. That's going to get inside near the 10-yard line.
That's
handoff to Lupe Sanchez.
So just when I said we hadn't seen much in terms of drive, we've got North County putting together what looks like a very good drive and a nice play on that 3rd down.
And just as the snap was coming in, we have a whistle on the field waiting for the call. Not sure what that official whistle was for.
Could have been a timeout.
Maybe they thought there was a timeout. Nonetheless, the referee.
Oh, that's the best kind of timeouts.
When you don't have to actually blow a timeout. And we are under 1 minute to go here in the first half.
Oh, they're all spread out there.
DeCousin. Oh, he is going to get pounded into the ground for a huge loss. That was John Carrick with the sack. And
great play by Carrick. Oh, my goodness. I think he was untouched.
Yes. And DeCousin just had nowhere to go on that.
No. A smart play by just it's right before the halftime. Don't try any heroics. They're up by a touchdown.
I don't know if the booth can show us that sack again, but that was really impressive.
But Carrick showing a lot of athleticism on the defensive side of the ball.
The pursuit was he just caught him right in his sights. Well, we have a timeout on the field. We're going to take a quick break with 1 minute and 9 seconds to go. We'll be right back after this brief message.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
And we are back here live from Condor Country with second down, ball marked down at the 23-yard line for the Condors. And there is a little bit of confusion as the time on the clock.
Looks like they might be wanting to put a little bit more time on the clock there.
We were under a minute earlier, and now we're back. Now we're back with 25 seconds to go here. So 25 seconds now on the clock. Condors up 14-6.
Second and goal.
Second and goal. Ball marked down at the 22. North County was knocking on the door, but got a huge loss on a sack.
So we've got 3-on-1 over on that right side. We'll see what DeCousins comes up with here.
DeCousins gets the ball patted away, and that was a really dangerous play there with the ball up in the air for quite a bit of time.
Well, he had a receiver. I didn't catch the number, but wide open down there around the 15-yard line.
Yeah, and I don't know which breaker made the play on that, but they definitely saved 6 points, possibly more.
Looked like a little flood route.
So with 19 seconds to go, the Condors with a third and very long ball marked down at the 23. DeCousin takes a snap, drops back in the pocket, looking for his receiver, has him open. That's number 2, Abel Ruiz with the touchdown, 23-yard touchdown.
What a throw.
What a catch, and what a connection.
Man, there was one place he could have put that ball, and he put it in the right spot.
Yeah.
Great poise and terrific accuracy by DeCousins there.
And Ruiz just in a perfect position, just turned around at the exact right moment to get that. As we will see Hernandez line up for the extra point attempt. And nope, they're going to go ahead and hold that. DeCousin's going to hold that, take it in the middle, but we have a flag. That was good. The 2-point conversion was good, but we'll wait for the call.
Flag looks like it's going to get waved off by.
And that's going to be false start against the Condors. So we haven't seen an extra point converted so far in this game. We have 4 touchdowns and no extra point.
Interesting call on that. Looks like a procedure.
11 seconds to go here in the first half, as this game has slowed down quite a bit from the fast pace with the run game on both sides. And the Condors will go for one more attempt. We'll see if they actually try and kick it this time. Hernandez waits for the snap. The ball is down. The kick is up.
That looks good, but interesting. Maybe we can get some clarification on what that call was, but it wasn't offsides. It might have been some sort of illegal procedure with that formation, but maybe we'll be able to get some clarification on that later.
21-6, the Condors have the lead. And we've seen some really bright spots from this Condor offense. The Cousin's arm and his legs, the precision on that play, and also some nice athleticism from his receivers.
Well, and it's been the Cousin show tonight for North County, moving the ball with his legs, and also nice surprise getting Robles in at running back. A nice run there for Damon.
Condors definitely have some weapons on offense. It's up to the Breakers now to see if they can match this challenge as we get down to what will likely be, or what will be, the final series here.
Interesting little squib kick with 11 seconds.
That stays in bounds, and that gets fielded near the 20. And that looked like, I believe it was Hanley who did field that.
Yeah, Jake Hanley picked that ball up and tried to get it back into the center of the field, see if he could find something, but not much there.
And I see my girls, Johanna and Veronica, there on the camera. Shout out to Millennium Charter High School, our students helping out with the video production today. We also have some students from Hartnell College today.
Oh, great.
With the production, so big ups to all of our student volunteers on the production team. With 4 seconds to go, the Breakers, they'll probably just sit on this one.
So it'll be interesting to see PG deciding to just take a knee.
And
so as
that will mark the end of the first half. The Condors on homecoming night, 21-6 on a we definitely had a Robles touchdown, and then we had another touchdown to Ruiz. And so, like you said, but it's all kind of orchestrated on Brandon DeCousin.
Sure, showing what he can do tonight. He throw the ball or move the ball with his feet, and he's really ran this offense so far. And PG's got to come up with some sort of an answer. They've got to be able to stop DeCousin, put a spy on him or something. But when that play breaks down, they don't seem to come up to be able to come up and make that stop. So,
and PG has had a couple of opportunities move the ball, especially in that first series. I thought they were in really good position, and then early in the second quarter they were in pretty good position with some momentum on offense, but just only able to get one touchdown so far.
So a little shout out before we cut away for halftime. My boys Sean and John at Carmel Middle School today. I was at Carmel Middle School all this week working with them, and a couple of boys in my science class this week.
On.
So
Sean and John, big ups to them.
So if they're watching tonight, hey Sean and John.
I'm going to go ahead and read some tweets here from at John J. Devine, because I know you're eager to get some updates. Alisal with a 14-0 lead over Scotts Valley, so my Trojans looking strong. North Salinas has a 7-0 lead over Watsonville. This is being reported about 20 minutes ago. Gonzales with a 21-13 lead over Pajaro. So the Spartans
putting together a heck of a season
to be moving there. Palma with a 21-0 lead over Gilroy, and then Salinas reported 30 minutes ago they have a big 23-0 lead over Alvarez. St. Francis with a 7-0 lead over King City. That was reported about 40 minutes ago. And that's what we have so far for the score report. And I know that down in the truck, they're going to be presenting a little video package produced by the MCAET production team. and we're going to get a look at that as we're watching the North Monterey County cheer team kind of get down there. But we will be back after this break. We're going to see a great video produced by our MCAET team about this brand new stadium here at North County, and we'll be right back after this break.
So welcome. This is really an exciting time for us, and we are going to have lots of different people speak about how amazing and excited we are to have this new facility.
I appreciate your support and all the kids being here excited about all of this. And I just wanted to share a little bit of the history. Was here when this high school was built. My husband was one of the original teachers here, and he remembers when they would start a game down here because we had no lights, and the staff, it would start to get dark, so the staff and parents would bring their cars and park them all around and shine their headlights down on the field so they could finish up the game in the dark. And that's where we've come from. So when you look at this and I think about that, we have done amazing things here in this district and for this high school and for our kids and our students. And that's our number one reason for doing this. It's not about anything except the kids and the kids that we have in this district. The ones that are here now, the little ones that are on their way coming up, that we can provide the very best for them. Our kids and our community deserve the best. And I feel like that we've proven to them now that we can do that we can give you the best. And I thank you again for your support and for the community's support. Thank you.
Good morning. This is definitely a highlight, and I am so excited because, again, there's many of you out there who are alumni, just like myself, and I'm the second class that graduated here, so that tells you how far back that is. But you know what? I know a lot of you guys are thinking about this, so I might as well say it. It's about time. And it is so well deserved. I mean, I walked in here today and I thought, wow, okay, there goes all my stuff. Anyways, I walked in today and I thought, this is just amazing. All these years, coming to all the football games, I've had 3 children that have graduated through here. I have one more sitting in the audience here that'll be able to experience this. On Friday night, I know these kids were able to practice last night. He came home so excited. And I just can't wait to see what's going to happen on Friday night, how the community is going to appreciate everything and all the hard work that everyone's done behind the scenes to make this happen. So again, if it wasn't for the community support and supporting Measure H, helping us to accomplish all the goals, this is one of the major projects that a lot of work went behind the scene. And I have to acknowledge Rick D is here, who did a lot of work behind the scenes as our construction manager, and Kari and the staff. I mean, they worked so hard because we all know there was a lot of obstacles along the way that pushed this project back. This stuff sitting in 3 feet of water for I don't know how many months. And so there was a lot of people involved to work really hard to get this done because our kids deserve it. And our kids are going to see how our community came together that believes in making them have something special for them to be proud of, to be excited, to be motivated. And that is going to change the culture here at North County every time somebody comes out and participates in this field, along with everything else that has happened here. So thank you for supporting us. I hope you continue to support our future goals in Measure E and F, because there's so much more that needs to be done, but our kids deserve it. Thank you.
Good morning. What a great day. I am just so excited to be here. And the last time I was here, we were having a storm, as we seem to have. And the winds were blowing and the kids showed up and packed the gym. But today is an amazing day. I've sat out here not for the football as much as for the track and the cross country when my kids were here. And the one thing I know is North County strong. And I commend the Board of Trustees. I commend the superintendent and I commend the community. You've had the character, the courage, and conviction to stand behind what needs to happen for our community, and you're doing it again and again. As Martha just indicated, we have another bond coming up. But it's true, our kids deserve this. We as a community have always been child-focused, and you all, the young people here that are enjoying North County, are the ones that are the beneficiaries, because no matter where I have gone throughout this county, we have always seemed to have an inordinate support to be very child-focused, very community-centered. Our community has revolved and evolved from this very place. So just, Linda stole a little bit of my thunder. For those of you who weren't here in the Wayback Machine, I was going to give you one quick illustration about how appropriate it is that we're having this today, not only for homecoming coming up, but in honor of the fact that on October 25th, 1978, North County opened its doors. We've had a history of mud. They didn't have the money to put the paths. They didn't have the overhangs. We didn't have the ability to finish the project. But that didn't deter us, because we had our own school. We had our community school that had been promised again and again and again and hadn't happened. So what did we do as a community? We came together, united. We formed our own K-12 district, and from there we've just gone sky high. So it doesn't stop with us today. It stops by all the families continuing to support their children at home with their homework, but to support them in the ballot box when the bond comes forward. So I'd like to give a round of applause to the Board of Trustees and to the superintendent for having character, courage, and conviction to help this be a reality today. Please join.
I don't have to say much more than it's been said already. You know, it's, look behind me. It's a great. So what do you think, kids? So, and it was all for you, of course, and the community really supported us on this endeavor. One of the things I was happy to see is our scoreboard. It's arrived, but that's what was part of the school also. School kids worked for that under the leadership of my daughter, Yvette. Where is Yvette? Is she hiding somewhere? And I take some credit that she should take credit for. She really has helped a lot, and she continues to work a lot. And of course, we're not done yet. We're definitely not done yet. We need more work that has to be done. I attended Moss Landing School way back in the 50s, so I go back a long time in this district. All my grandkids, my daughters, all of them went to the school district. I ended up going to high school in Salinas because there was no high school in those years. And there was only 2 high schools in Salinas at that point in time. So, but we can't stand still. Our kids are coming in, and we need room, obviously. So we definitely need the community to support us to continue building new schools and getting back to the field. You know, a picture's worth 1,000 words. This is even live, not even a picture. So thank all of you. Thank the community for supporting us, and hopefully we can continue supporting our kids in the future. Thank you.
2, 1. Yeah!
Well, it's beautiful, first of all. I'm really excited because I know it's going to be used to its full potential so that our teams can reach their full potential, because I know North County has it in them that they'll do whatever it takes to be the best, and I know we have that.
It feels great because last year we're on the away, just pure away games the entire season, so it was hard and rough, but now that we have this, it feels great. It's a new beginning, and like, the whole team's excited. We got to practice on this field last night, and you could feel the energy. It feels like North County's back.
I think it's going to really motivate us to do good this year, so we're trying to go for CCS, see if we can make it, and then, yeah, it's going to be a really good motivation to have everyone come out here and have fun at the new field.
Last year was really hard, you know, not having a facility, so it's really an honor to actually be the first ones in track and field to use this new facility.
I'm amazed. I'm in awe. It's cool seeing this track go from a humble little dirt track to this grand, amazing turf track. And I know I'm excited to get this field into use, and I know everyone else is excited to get this field into use. So.
We are excited to be opening our new stadium for the football team, track and field, soccer teams, and the community to use it. It is a long time coming from what I understand from a lot of the community, and I'm super proud to be here in this moment and have this experience with everybody who's involved.
Hi, I'm Coral, and we're here in Moss Landing with Marilyn, and we're going to learn a little bit about the history of Moss Landing and her history with Moss Landing. So first off, tell me a little bit about the history of Moss Landing.
So Moss Landing started as a whaling station on the Central Coast prior to California's statehood. And my great-grandfather, Cato, arrived here from the Azores in Portugal as a seafarer. That's what he did. And he came here specifically for the whaling. So this was the beginning. And they started building warehouses and piers and docks to that purpose. And the little town grew around that.
Wow, so tell me a little more about your personal history with Moss Landing.
So I grew up here and in the same house that my father grew up in, and his father before him grew up in. The family began life in a location other than where I lived, but quickly moved further inland across the slough. So we've been here for as long as Moss Landing's been here, essentially. We just were among the early settlers after Charles Moss sort of came out here from Boston and set up shop, also a whaler. So that is really where it began. Whaling played out pretty rapidly, and we became farmers and dairymen and whatever paid the bills, essentially. And then the generation of my father moved completely away from the land in a way. He became a school teacher, and so did his sister. But we've stayed local in the area, so yeah.
Wow, so how has it been growing up in the industrial hub of Monterey County?
It's always been a little bit, Moss Landing is a little anachronism, really, because it has always embodied some kind of industry or, people have always sort of looked askance, I think, at things like whaling and certainly power plants, first oil-driven and now natural gas. But that just is where Moss Landing is in the perfect spot on a coastline for those enterprises. So, it's been kind of a back and forth, a little bit of a tug of war. With the advent of the Nature Conservancy on the Elkhorn Slough in the early 90s, we began to see some changes where there was an interest in returning the slough to a wetland. My family has kind of straddled those causes because my grandfather championed dredging the harbor, trying to get bigger boats in there, certainly to get the big tankers in to pour oil into the old tanks in PG&E. So it's I would say that it's a bit of an anachronism, Moss Landing. So, but it was a fantastic place to grow up. I mean, it was just kind of we were freewheeling little kids all over the place, up and down the slough. So now, coming back as an adult, there are sea otters out there that were never there before. There are cormorants that were never there before. So it's been really kind of nice to watch it evolve. I don't know whether it's evolving or going back. Either way, it's been an interesting process.
So, how else have you seen the slough maybe physically change over
lots
time?
more water. There is a lot more water in the slough than there ever used to be. Yeah. So a low tide is not as low as they used to get. We used to be able to virtually walk across it when the tide was low, and now we have king tides that were never there, and that's a factor in climate change as well. So there's just a lot more water, which leads to more sea life, which leads to more mammals, which is sort of makes it a lively place. I sort of characterize the trees behind my house as sounding like Jurassic Park at night. There's so much life back there. So.
Wow, so I can see that there are lots of quirky, cool parts of Moss Landing.
Absolutely. Yes.
So tell me a little more about some of the specific quirky parts of Moss Landing.
We've always got the human element has always been colorful in Moss Landing. And that doesn't seem to change. It really doesn't. I mean, we're sitting in the courtyard of one of the neatest galleries in the whole county right here, Kim Solano's Old Enchilada Galleria, and it's, so people sort of congregate in these little pockets, that are not, there's very little judgment that goes on here. So it's been always been lively.
Well, it's been wonderful speaking with you today and having us here in your wonderful little quirky town.
Monterey County High School, and still a couple minutes to go before the start of the second half. But let's go ahead and check in on some scores here, Bruce. And you were checking in with your old coaching buddy there, huh?
Yeah, it's nice. We have a couple of visitors up here in the booth. It's always nice.
And so we're going to go to my buddy, John J. Devine. And Palma with just a huge 42-0 lead over Gilroy. And that's barely in the second quarter. King City ties it up with St. Francis as they head into the half. Salinas 37-7 over the Alvarez Eagles. And, of course, North County 21-6 halftime lead over Pacific Grove. And then Aptos still has that 14-0 halftime lead over Seaside, and LaSalle 14-0 over Scotts Valley is the last reported score. So.
And if you're out there and you're here listening to this and you've got a Hollister Christopher score or a Carmel Monte Vista score, feel free to tweet that out and we'll catch it.
At Marcos A. Cabrera is my handle. So if anyone wants to tweet out the Carmel Monte Vista, Seaside Aptos, Hollister Christopher, you can go ahead and send that our way. Got another minute to go here, and (21-6) halftime lead as we get ready, and it looks like we are close to starting the second half. Clock winds down here.
Looks like Coach Gomes getting a little clarification down there on the sideline from the official on that last call. We're still waiting for clarification what that was on the 2-point conversion, but it looked like the line was, I don't know if we'll be able to pull it back up, but it looks like the line might have been on their knees to start that. Sometimes the line will get down, they'll be on their knees, and they come up, and but it looks like you may just, it might have been some formation and a change of rules that the coaches actually weren't aware of. Because it didn't seem like they had thought that anything was wrong, and with all the explanations been going on at halftime, it might have been a rule change or something obscure that we just haven't seen yet.
And clock now says that we are getting ready for game time. North County huddled up on their sideline. It looks like we're going to start lining up for some kicks here.
So PG looking for an answer for DeCousins. DeCousins with his feet has provided a big threat when that pocket breaks down. He's been taking off with his feet and wreaking havoc through that PG sort of middle secondary there.
He makes such quick decisions. I think that is equally as impressive as his athleticism.
little confusion on which side to start on.
And we'll get everything right here. And
so Hernandez is getting ready to kick.
Pacific Grove will be receiving the ball. And, I remember being on the sidelines covering some night games at PG and just talking to like George Watkins and saying, man, I wish PG would do something about those numbers on those jerseys. And now it's really coming.
I'll tell you, after coaching at Stevenson against PG, there were a couple times we were over there in the fog, and literally I could not, even as white as Chris Morgan's legs are, I could not see them from my side of the field. I couldn't see the 50-yard line, but when that fog comes in and wants to come in super thick, you've been there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're almost ready to go here. Hernandez getting some final instructions from the referee at midfield. Next week we'll be broadcasting from Christopher.
The official has clarified, yes, I want you to kick it this direction. So I think we're going to be set to go here any minute. And here we go.
Hernandez gets the kick off, and that looks like it's Hanley getting it. He's trying to dance around a little bit, make some room, but that ball get marked down inside the 25. Somewhere near the 24-yard line, looks like, as we got 11:51 to go here in this third quarter.
So it'd be interesting to see if in the second half, if PG's able to exploit. There's about a 2 or 3 height differential between the PG receivers and the North County secondary. So it'll be interesting to see, especially on the near side here with Hanley. You like to take advantage of those matchups if you can. It's that belly handoff again.
Moore in motion over to the left-hand side. He's fighting for some yards, but he's not going to get much. Maybe 1 or 2 as that ball get marked down near the 21-yard line.
Nice defensive coverage there, really stretching that play laterally, and that looked like it was Fernando Perez on that. Really extended that play out.
Second down and about 8 as Albert goes under center. And that is going to be a big hit. North County getting the sack. And
That
Jose Alvarez Zavala was one of the defenders in on that sack. And Albert back, and he had that little screen, trying to get that little screen. And that will go incomplete, and the Breakers will have a 4th and long.
Boy, you want to have that back. They set up that screen really nicely. Got him. Sometimes you just don't expect that ball to hit your hands there, Mark.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. It could be everywhere else, but when it lands right in your hands, that could be a tough one.
And that was, he had plenty of space to move around, but just couldn't get a handle on it. That'll lead to a 4th down as the Breakers will punt this one off. And that goes out of bounds. So the North County is going to get really, really good field position there. Inside near the 35-yard line with 10 minutes and 16 seconds to go here.
Even better position than I thought.
Yes.
Looks like they're marking that at about the 35-yard line.
Yes, so the Condors with a tremendous opportunity here, fairly deep in Breaker territory for their first possession of the second half. And let's see what DeCousin can get going.
We got Kofeld split right.
And DeCousin going under center here. And that's going to be a handoff to Robles, and Robles is just going to stick his head into a bunch of breaker defenders to get an extra 2 yards. That was a good 5-yard run. That ball get marked at the 31-yard line. 10 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Strong effort by Robles.
Nice shot of the North County sideline.
I believe that's our guy Tom Mooneyhan there doing all of the sideline video. So big ups to Tom. That is a nice fast run. You got Lupe Sanchez fighting for some yardage, and he's going to get a first down on about a 6-yard run. Ball will get marked at the 24-yard line. 9 minutes and 28 seconds to go here in the third quarter. North County's in business.
Putting together a little bit of a run game. Coming out, keeping it on the ground, doing a great job.
As the Condors come back up to the line of scrimmage.
Good strategy by Coach Gomes, too. It's like just keep the ball on the ground if you can. If you can move it on the ground. Again, looking for a little swing pass out to Robles.
Intended for Robles. He had room. He had space, I should say. But
yeah.
Just a little off over towards his. He was looking around, and that was just off going towards his left shoulder. DeCousin going under center to start the second half here. Just a different look.
A little bit different look, keeping PG on their toes. You know, PG might have been thinking, let's make an adjustment for the mobility of DeCousins, and then they might have taken some time to prepare for something that they're not going to see too much. Looks like
there's just a handoff to Robles, and he goes up the middle, and he has room going to the left side, zigzags around, gets the ball inside the 10, marked down at the 9-yard line, and the Condors are sniffing out the end zone as we get to the 8:50 mark here. Nice run by Robles right there.
Showing some tenacity on the ground.
And I'm just looking at you, you're grinning like like you're just really proud of this kid right now.
Well, I'll tell you got to give all the credit to Freddie Sosa, who's a coach up at Monte Vista Christian. Freddie was a terrific running back at high school and college level, and worked a lot with these kids over the years. And I know worked with Robles in his freshman year as well.
DeCousin evades a couple of defenders, bumps his way into the end zone. That is a nice 9-yard touchdown. DeCousin doing it all on that play. Evaded one defender and then just pounded the defensive back here to get the score.
And I know that was a little bit of a breakdown, but DeCousins, there's just no answer on the PG defense for DeCousins tonight.
No, when he makes a decision, he goes with it 100%, and the Breakers are just at a loss how to answer as Hernandez lines up. We'll see if they attempt the field goal, the point after, and they do. That is good. North County with a strong 28-6 lead over the Pacific Grove Breakers. And we will take a quick break right here, and we'll be right back after this message.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
And we are back here. Just another great play by DeCousin.
Apparently, DeCousins has got some moves on the dance floor, too. There was some, word has it that he's not a bad dancer.
Oh, really?
Not a bad dancer in this multi-talented high school quarterback with some hidden talent.
He's definitely stepping here on the field, and much to the Breakers' dismay. I wish that I'm pretty sure the Breakers wish he just stayed on the dance floor
tonight. Yes, that's for sure.
As Hernandez lines it up, that's going to get fielded near the 10-yard line. Hanley fumbling a little bit with that ball, trying to make a move to his left-hand side. Gets an extra 5 yards, but, gets hammered on the sideline. And got to be careful. Luckily, no penalty on that one.
No, there's a flag, but looked like it could have been might have been a late hit. There was a flag right on that sideline.
That's going to be a holding against the Breakers.
Yeah.
So tough break for Pacific Grove on that one, as Hanley looked like he was knocked down as he was out of bounds. And that's going to give the Breakers really tough field position.
It reminds me of that play that poor Jimmy Garoppolo a couple weeks ago.
Man!
And then I was so I thought, oh my gosh, look at that hit, and how can you get away with that, and not the and not the one Clay Matthews had.
Geez.
But when you look really close at that, it looked like Garoppolo had stepped out of bounds, and that's what tweaked his knee, and he's trying to put his weight on his. Unfortunately, he was trying to put his weight on his good foot, which is right foot at that point, and looked like he might have been stepping or trying to step back on field when really he's trying to just get his balance, I think.
I mean, he was just trying to give that extra effort, which, on one hand, you do want to see that from your quarterback, from your leader, but on the other hand, you got to just got to play it safe sometimes when you're in that position.
Well, you just, prayers go out to Garoppolo, and hopefully he's a speedy recovery. But
prayers to his knee,
Yeah.
I don't know about you, I'm a big-time Niner fan, so that was a bummer.
Yeah, well, they've had a couple of bum breaks in the last couple of years, but I guess there's a reason they call it the 49ers faithful, right?
Yeah. Had it pretty good in my early years, as the Breakers will now get the ball at the 20, and this is going to be around the left-hand side, but that is going to be stopped for a big loss.
That's
about 3
a great
yards.
job, as Lupe Sanchez came up and really didn't fool him at all. Came up to help on that stop.
2nd and 13 for the Breakers. And we were talking, but I don't know what the ruling on the field was, but it gave the Breakers a lot better position. Albert under center. And this is going to be a little slant intended for, I believe, Blake Moore, or rather Hanley. But that'll go incomplete, and that'll bring up 3rd and long.
And at this point, the PG coaching staff's got to be pulling out their hairs. How many 3rd and longs do we have to face tonight?
Yes.
And it's, as I said earlier, that 2nd and long situation just drives your poor offensive coordinator crazy.
And now they'll get 3rd and about 13 with the ball at the 17-yard line. Albert coming under center with 7:26 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
So we've seen that quick pass, or that little belly. There he is.
And he has.
Oh, my goodness.
He's going to get knocked down near.
Looks like Spencer Gonzalez coming up and didn't fool Gonzalez at all.
Albert just had nowhere to go, and that ball get marked down at the 3-yard line. Actually, at the 4-yard line. 7 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Pacific Grove will be forced to punt, and it's just, Albert just trying to make something happen, but everywhere he turns, he's got a condor in his face.
Yeah, PG struggling with their passing game tonight, and not really able to establish much on the run side.
And the snap is up, and the punt is going to get fielded near the 30-yard line. That'll be Isaiah Solorio. And the Condors are going to, again, have tremendous field position here.
Yeah, again, terrific field position. Takes the pressure off the offensive coordinator for North County. You can really keep that ball on the ground, especially up 28-6 at this point. You don't have to take a lot of risks.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, you want to just make sure you're executing perfectly. It's about ball control. Mm-hmm. It's not having the silly play, and no mental errors at this point.
And DeCousin will be back under center. And that's going to be a handoff to Sanchez over the right-hand side. And Sanchez, off of the motion, is going to get a good 4-yard gain on that. Ball be marked down near the 26-yard line.
A nice kick-out block there. I didn't get the number, but North County line really doing well on that, opening up that hole. That's a play that you hope is going to get your 4 or 5 yard play, and that's exactly what they were able to do.
As the clock gets close to the halfway point of the third quarter. 6 minutes now to go here in the third. And the Condors are just being really deliberate with their play calling here. And that's a handoff to Robles up the middle. He's going to get close to first down yardage, but won't convert it quite yet. That'll bring up a 3rd and about 2 with the ball marked down at the 22-yard line.
And this must be what Coach Gomes is looking for tonight, being able to really control the ball, control the line of scrimmage, and they're able to do it through the run.
Yeah. Third down at about 2, as we were at the 5-minute and 15 mark. Estrada in motion. That's going to be a handoff to number 30. Don't have a name for that.
They got a
on our
yard?
roster.
No.
Got maybe a yard, but it won't be enough. Actually, he lost a yard, I should say.
So
it won't be enough for a first down.
North County going for it here.
And just trying to get that time off the clock.
Well, and you're thinking too. It's it's 4 down territory really, and it opens up your playbook quite a bit as a coach. Even if they were to turn the ball over on downs here, they still are controlling the field position.
The cousin under center, he's going to try and barrel his way up the middle, and he's going to get the first down. Really good, strong yardage on that. You just had a hunch that the cousin was going to be in control of the ball there.
And sometimes that's just the quarterback's call right at that time. If they'll notice where the nose guard is shaded, and he'll tap the center on one side or the other and say, hey, I want to go to the right or I want to go to the left, and it tells the center what he needs to do. And if they're just trying to carve out a yard or two, that's exactly what he was able to do. So that's all the cousins on that one. Saw something he liked and just took it.
The cousin now back, has room in the pocket, trying to get it out to Robles on that little swing pass, but nothing going. That was Robles. That was right in his hands and just swung out right through. And this will bring up a 2nd and 10.
So that we've seen that same swing pass to Robles out in the flat a couple times. Opened up nicely, so it's a good look.
Yeah, that play is there. The execution.
Keep that one in the playbook, Coach. That's a nice one.
The cousin under center. Takes the snap, drops back into the pocket, has a defender on him, so he swings out to the right-hand side. This could be an easy, breezy touchdown. There is a flag on the right sideline. We'll see what that is coming in. But that was 18 yards of money for the cousin.
Look at the North County sideline. That one may be coming back, but
and that's going to be a holding against the Condors, so that will be coming back. Breakers just can't get a hand on the cousin.
Well, they caught a break on that. I'll tell you, that's a nice break on that play. But the cousin's very adept at avoiding those, being able to see through that pocket and step right out of it, step up. And I tell you what, coaches like that. A next level coach they like a quarterback that can be in that pocket and take a step up. That's a good sign. He's showing a lot of maturity, a lot of skill in that quarterback position tonight.
And we have a timeout on the field, so that means will take a quick break here. We will be right back after this quick message.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
And we are back. Let's check in with our guy John Devine. Alice out with a 21-14 lead now over Scotts Valley, and King City 14-7 over St. Francis. And here it is. We finally got it for you, man. Carmel up 7-0 over Monte Vista in the third quarter.
Oh, tight game up there. That's surprising.
Yeah, and that's recorded about 9 minutes ago by John J. Devine. Follow him on Twitter. He has all of your scoring needs covered. The cousin looking around has a receiver wide open in the back of the end zone, and that is going to be a completion for a touchdown. The cousin completing with Isaiah Solorio surrounded by Breakers defenders, both ends of the field there.
That looked like it was just over the hands of the PG defender.
And that looked like some backyard football there as the cousin just zipping his way around. I'm going to see if we can get a replay on that one, but the cousin just found a way to make that play happen. Had a handful of Breaker defenders in his face there as Hernandez lines up for the kick. And it is up and it is good, and North County with a commanding 35-6 lead over the Breakers here. 3 minutes and 12 seconds to go.
A mature decision by DeCousins, because you can't lodge that ball unless you've got a receiver that's on the behind the PG defense.
Mm-hmm.
So credit to the receiving corps to be able to get back behind the PG defense, and then you can just run up and under that ball.
Mm-hmm.
So the good news is that he doesn't throw a short ball. That's the ball that's going to get picked off.
And Condor's receivers have been getting plenty open all day. So we've seen definitely some breakdowns by the Breakers, but also some nice route running by the Condors.
PG here looking for answers.
3 minutes and 12 seconds left here in the third quarter. North County will be kicking off. And this ball will get fielded at the 5-yard line. Hanley trying to bring it up. He gets it past the 25-yard line. That ball get marked down at the 25. 3 minutes and 4 seconds now to go as the Breakers take over in their own territory. And PG just unable to get anything going so far in this game, really, other than that early first half touchdown.
So we'll be able to see what the junior Freddie Albert can get going with his PG offense right now.
And that's going to be a handoff, and that ball is on the floor. And it looks like the Breakers do manage to recover it. Albert
looks like he recovered his own fumble there, or the fumble on the handoff.
But that'll be a loss of 5 yards with the ball marked down at the 22-yard line. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go here in the third quarter. And this is going to be a toss.
Nice job on forcing that play back in. Good contain on the North County defense, turning that play upfield, and he's met by the linebacking core of North County. Great job.
That was a gain of maybe about 1. So we do have our first final reported in by John J. Devine, and that's King City with a 14-7 win over St. Francis of Watsonville.
Good job for Mac Villanueva and his staff down there. They've been searching this year. Had a tough preseason.
And this is going to be penalty against the Breakers, offsides. And I'm sorry, penalty against the Condors, offsides. And that'll be a 5-yard gain, and that'll give the Breakers a 3rd and 8 now. The ball marked down at the 27-yard line, 28-yard line. 1 minute 35 to go here in the third quarter. And Albert does have a receiver open. He gets pummeled just past the 50-yard line. That ball was intended for Blake Moore, but he just got sandwiched between two Condors defenders.
Great coverage by Jesse Ramos, and he got a little help there, it looked like, by Riley Anderson.
And so with that, it'll be a 4th down, and the Breakers will be forced to punt deep in their own territory. Ball marked down at the 28. 1 minute and 24 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
Not much working for PG tonight, unfortunately. They're just not able to put together that sustained drive. They have a couple of drops. And
the Condors just playing tough. And all 3 facets of the game here.
You're really doing a good job controlling that line of scrimmage. And shout out to middle linebacker Adrian Gomez for North County. He's been going sideline to sideline and really doing a great job at cleaning up in the middle there, not allowing much up the middle at all so far tonight.
So the Condors will take over in Breaker territory with the ball marked down at the 48-yard line. 1 minute 24 to go. DeCousin back in the shotgun. And there is just a handoff up the middle. That would look like it was to Alex Flores. Calling Flores' name for the first time tonight. He gets no gain on that run. Second down and long for the Condors.
So you wonder if maybe the numbers for PG might come into play here a little bit. They've been on defense quite a bit. They're getting tired. PG has about 12 or 13 players on the sidelines, so yes. Not a deep squad this year for PG. Mm-hmm. Great coach. Very well coached. I know that Buck Rogeman, who had a lot of success at PG, is back helping out with the staff again this year. And but you can't coach numbers. Hopefully, you build the program and get it going on the right track, which had a great preseason, and get a little bit more players coming out. There's that swing pass to the opposite side.
And that was intended for Leonardo Avila. But that just pops in and out of his hands, as that'll bring up 4th down. And the Condors looks like they'll go ahead and punt this ball. And with 5 seconds left to go here in the third quarter, the Condors will get this off and see if they have any time left. See if PG has any time left to run off a play this quarter. This will get fielded inside the 10.
Oh my goodness, that is did that go out of bounds?
That's at the 1 yard
That's
line.
Went out of bounds. You can't you can't want any more. That is a great punt, great field position for North County, and unfortunately for PG, it's the story of the second half. They just can't buy field position.
Whatever can go wrong will go wrong for this PG squad. in this second half. As they'll get the ball. Looks like they'll get the ball at the 2-yard line. But this is going to be a tough haul here for Freddie Albert and his offense.
See if they can punch it out a little bit, give them some room.
And Albert is actually going to live a little dangerously to call a play action, trying to find something.
Not a bad call, but throwing into double coverage there and couldn't quite reach the receiver.
Didn't have anything going downfield. And they let the time run off the clock. That looks like it will be the end of the third quarter. North County with a strong 35-6 lead over the Pacific Grove Breakers. We'll take a quick break, be right back, and we will call this final quarter of action after this message.
This program on MCAETtv is brought to you in part by the good folks from Technology and Operations at the Monterey County Office of Education, with leadership, support, and service to prepare all students for success.
And we are back here. 35-6. Second week in a row that we're seeing a big lead going into the fourth quarter here, Bruce. And it has been all North County this time around.
It sure has been, and the story of the show, it's been the Cousins and Robles show on the ground, really. Yeah. But the Cousins showing what he can do through the air and a couple beautiful passes on really broken plays, finding receivers in the end zone. I'll tell you what, that was a beautiful pass in the to the front corner of the end zone, right just before the close of the first half.
Yeah, and you could really, DeCousin is going to have so many highlights to choose from for his sizzle reel out of this game alone. So, and the Breakers, on the other hand, will have a second and long. Ball marked down still at the 2-yard line as the clock starts, and looks like we're going running clock for this fourth quarter.
Well, that could be a safety there if he's.
And it looks like the line judge is going to mark it down somewhere in the at the 1. And I don't know how he found room to get that out of the end zone, but he did manage to get some room out. So this will be 3rd and 10. The ball marked down at the 2-yard line. 11 minutes and 20 seconds to go here on the clock.
Looks like the crowd might have thinned out just a little bit here as we start the fourth quarter, but they've been a great crowd all night for North County.
And that handoff goes over the right-hand side. That'll be a gain of about 4, and that's going to work to give the punt team just a little bit of breathing room as they come out onto the field. 10 minutes and 45 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter as we're winding down.
And, this is a good opportunity for, obviously, North County going to wind up with good field position again. Coach Combs has every opportunity to just keep the ball on the ground, protect the rock, and grind some time off the clock as much as he can. And hopefully in a game like this, you're able to get a little deeper into your depth chart and give some guys some experience.
And that's going to take a little bounce, and that's going to be fielded by Isaiah Solorio. He's going to take the ball inside the 30. That'll get marked down close to the 25-yard line.
So good opportunity to get some players who haven't had a lot of experience in get a touch. You've got great field position.
And I'm looking to see if DeCousin is still out there.
Sure, he's going to be in. He's their guy. We might see a little bit of Riley Anderson at quarterback. He's come in and played. He did a good job filling in for DeCousins a little bit earlier in the season,
and that's going to be handed off to the left-hand side. I can't tell, but
that looks like it might have been Juan Cruz. the junior, so giving him some experience.
And that's going to get marked down. That was about a good 5-yard run, rather. Ball get marked down at the 21-yard line. As we are near the 10-minute mark here.
And that clock will just continue to run as the umpire signaling to the timer to keep the clock going.
The umpire's going to have a rotator strain there.
I think he wants to go home.
Telling the clock guy, hey, get it moving. And we will get a penalty on the field.
It looks like somebody moved.
So that'll be a penalty for North County. It's going to take the ball back to the original line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 10, ball marked down at the 26-yard line.
So it looks like we've got Riley Anderson in at quarterback on that.
I mean, that'll be a little handoff to Cruz. Cruz spins around, but nothing going there. That'll bring up a 3rd down and about 9. And Anderson taking over for DeCousin.
Was that a good night?
I'll say.
Yeah.
I'll say. 1 touchdown running, 2 touchdowns passing. I'm sorry, 2 touchdowns on the ground.
2 touchdowns through the air.
2 through the air, and a partridge in a pear tree. Anderson in the shotgun. He's going to go ahead and keep it, take it right up the middle. He has some room. He'll definitely get into the inside the 10. Going to get marked down near the 5-yard line. And that looked like it was Dylan McLaren who was in to prevent that from being a nice touchdown run for Riley Anderson. So Riley Anderson doing his best Brandon DeCousin impersonation on that run.
So that middle just opening up, and so PG maybe with a little work to do next week in terms of if they're playing another one of these spread teams. And
yeah, and we saw the middle opening up as well on some of those screen passes up the middle that North County was unable to execute. Anderson.
And one of the keys there is you just can't have your linebackers coming up too much. So linebacker, the inclination is you're playing that linebacker position. You want to come up, be part of the play, and you're stepping up. And it's a little bit harder to be just patient and let the play come to you. I mean, you gotta focus on that gap control, but still, if you get too much penetration, that play can get behind you so fast. And it looks like that's what's happening a little bit inside.
Yeah, a player like DeCousin, though, will make any inside linebacker antsy.
Yeah, sure.
And we're going to see a handoff, and that's going to go straight in for a touchdown. And that was 42, Andrew Bernabe with the touchdown.
So nice that they're spreading around a little bit.
And it looks like we got the Monterey County Sheriff's Department out there in the corner running the siren.
Chiming in on that, too.
So shout out to the Sheriff's Office out here rooting for these Condors as they take, with the snap and the kick up, no good. They'll take a 41-6 lead. So early on, this was a contest, at least for the most of the first half, but North County, once they got that 3rd touchdown, they've just been off and running.
And PG just not, you're putting your team in a real tough shape by not being able to get yards on first down. You can get some, 4 or 5 yards on first down and be able to sustain a drive or two, and that's just what PG has not been able to do tonight. So maybe back to the drawing board and a little bit, and especially that execution is the starting out a drive. But how do you chip away? How do you start getting those yards on first down to take the pressure off your offense? So you're not 2nd and long, 3rd and long. It's a little too much pressure, especially when you've got a young team. So right now it'll be interesting to see the character of this PG crew out there on the field tonight. They're playing for pride now, so they want to play good, solid football. They don't want to get chippy, and they want to go home with their heads held high.
That will be 33 unanswered points by the Condors after that touchdown. And the Breakers will field the ball at the 25. That'll go out of bounds at the 26-yard line.
It's Ben Minnick just hopping out of bounds with that ball.
7 minutes and 44 seconds to go here in this game. And you guys are going off to Christopher next week. I'm going to be staying home.
Well, Marcos, that's I was going to say it's been a pleasure working with you, and you've got some big news. You got a big job that you're going off to.
Big job. I'm going to be working for Salinas Union High School District. I'll be their director of communications, and I'm really excited for the opportunity.
Well, congratulations. That's a phenomenal opportunity. I know it's a great job, and I wish you the best of luck up there. But
thank you. As we got the Breakers dancing around a little bit there, spinning around, maybe getting 2 yards. That ball get marked down at the 30-yard line. So I'm gonna miss the sidelines. I'm gonna miss the booth.
That's crazy up here. I know you're gonna miss this, but if you ever decide you're lonely on a Friday night, and
I might just text and tweet you as I'm watching your broadcast. Give you some notes
as you're sitting at home with your nice warm living room.
Yeah, chasing my kids around.
Well, congratulations on landing a great job, Marcus. I know you'll do a great job, and it's been a lot of fun working with you.
Yeah, it's been great working with you, Bruce, and you're going to take the reins, and you're going to do great. McCate's in good hands with you.
Well, thanks so much. You put together a great crew with your crew, and it might be a good time to give them some props right now.
Absolutely. Tonight we did have Veronica Ibarra, Johanna Podillo, Andrew Palafox, and Buddy Foxworthy and Dakota Bradshaw. That was our Millennium Charter High School crew tonight. Also want to give out a shout out, and there we see Andrew there. That's my man. Also want to give a shout out to the rest of the to the rest of the McCate crew. We have some great folks in the truck. Tom Mooneyham, Matt. We got Dylan Holmes, Trent Meyer, and they are just phenomenal out there. Ooh, as that was nearly picked off by Riley Anderson in the center of the field there. And that'll bring up a 3rd and short for the Breakers.
Hey, Marcos, so I got news. I've learned how to use Twitter.
All right.
Yeah, I can see that we've got Seaside up or down 40-6 versus Aptos. So big score for Aptos at their homecoming.
All right, as we have a downed player on the field. So we'll get back to some of those scores in a moment. We're just going to take a brief break for this injury timeout. We'll be back after this message.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
All right, as we still have a player down on the field.
Well, you hate to see this, especially late in the game, but you give a shout out to, I just saw Andy Gray. He's there on the sideline for PG. And Andy, a coaching legend on the Monterey Peninsula, has been a coach and athletic director at Seaside High School, has been coaching with his son Jeff over at PG now. And Andy, we called him out of retirement one year to help coach the JV team over at Stevenson, and just a terrific guy. Has been around, worked with kids and in schools his entire life, and just the terrific guy, kind of guy you want to have on your sideline. So shout out to Andy Gray.
All right, as the Breakers line back up, and that was Freddie Albert, quarterback Freddie Albert, who was injured. The Breakers are going to get a big gain here. That ball's going to get into Condor territory, marked down near the 48-yard line, as we got 4 minutes and 42 seconds to go here. And so we did get that that one update a second ago. Seaside losing to Aptos 40-6. As we got the handoff there. And that's going to go over the left-hand side. That'll get marked down. That was a 6-yard gain.
And Palma on a roll, 56-18 over Gilroy.
Well, Palma recovering nicely after that loss to Salinas. And you just, Palma, you can never count those guys.
I'll tell you,
Don't
Jeff
ever
Carnazzo
go.
does such a great job.
Yes.
And even when they've got young teams, he gets those kids coached up so fast. And they've got a system over there and great staff, terrific kids.
3 minutes and 45 seconds to go here in the game as the Breakers trying to get something going. And wow, he evades a couple of defenders there, and he's going to get the ball in for a first down. That's
Looked
going to
like
get marked
Dylan
down.
McLaren over there on that carry.
Yeah, McLaren had a condor on his back and somehow evaded him to get the first down. That was running about 12 yards.
Excuse me, Marcus. That was Ben Minnick.
Okay.
Ben Minnick, who's in for Albert.
Yeah. Minnick with a nice run there to give the Breakers some of their best field position of the second half here as we approach the 3-minute mark with 3 minutes left here in the game. Minnick now under center. And that's going to be a handoff over the left-hand side.
Oh, he gets that corner.
And he's going to get a couple of extra yards after the initial contact. That ball's going to get marked near the 30 with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in the game.
PG fighting hard and showing a lot of character here in the fourth quarter. Down but not out, and certainly trying their best to be their best selves right now. Unfortunate that Albert's on the sidelines. I see him. We can see them in kind of on the sideline, jogging down the sideline. So good news for PG that Albert's okay, looks okay right now.
And that's going to be a handoff for the Breakers. And he's going to get out. That's going to be a touchdown. That was Parker McNally with a nice run for the Breakers. 30 yards for the score. 1 minute 52 to go. So McNally showing some spunk there for the Breakers.
So PG being able to put together a nice drive, and at the same time you've got some North County players that haven't had a lot of experience that are out there right now, and this is going to be a great learning experience for those guys because normally on film day, the guys that are those maybe second or third on the depth chart, they don't really get to see a lot of themselves on during film.
Mm-hmm.
And so watching film, it's an important learning tool. They get the feel and the experience. There's nothing like actually being in a game to be able to get better. So for your younger players, for your developing players, this is a great opportunity for Coach Gomes to get those guys the experience that they need.
Right on, and that'll give the score will be now 41-13 after the point after. North County still with a big lead. I want to go ahead and give one shout out to my media production class, if you don't mind. I know
Sure,
I named
absolutely.
a couple of the students earlier, but all of these students have contributed at some point during the season so far. So Barbara and Lorena Avachuco Urias, the twins, Cameron Crane, Jacob Dominguez, Raymond Escamilla, Santiago Grijalva, Skylar McCreary, Gabe Mesa, Max and Skylar Russell. That's my media production crew over at Millennium. Had to say goodbye to them today, and they are a wonderful group, and I'm going to miss them tremendously.
So, Marcus, big day for you. It's kind of an emotional day for you. It's,
absolutely.
The wrapping up, and then so the sadness of having to wrap something up, but the excitement of moving on to something new and exciting.
Oh yeah, definitely. But as emotional as it was, I know that the students are in great shape. They're going to I developed some really wonderful leaders, had some really great experiences with them, and I leave the school and this post in good hands. So it's nice when you're able to build up a team, and you know that you can leave, and the next person up is going to be able to take care of things.
Well, you've done a great job, and you're going to be missed. It's been, as I said earlier, it's been a pleasure working with you, and I'm sure those kids are going to miss you a lot.
Yeah, and before I go, I definitely want to give a shout out to my wife Ginger and my kids Hunter, Zoe, and Edith back home. I'll be home soon, and you won't have to. I'll be home on Friday nights for the foreseeable future. So I know they're going to be really happy about that.
Oh, that's great. Well, enjoy your Friday nights, and you won't have to be stuck in the closet up here. We're talking about how plush it is up here.
Well, this is not a bad way to go out, I got to admit. Again, shout out to North County.
And if you find yourself in Pebble Beach with not much to do tomorrow, you can go by the Robert Louis Stevenson is hosting Greenfield at 2 o'clock. Stevens had a great game last week where Alex Murray just went off running for 250 yards. Murray, former quarterback, was playing Wildcat and had a terrific game.
Wow.
Stevenson down to Marina and came back and in just dramatic fashion. Murray really showing a lot of maturity and taking control of that game, put it on his shoulders, ran for something 250 yards and against that Greenfield team, which we saw last week. So it could be an interesting, pound and ground, 3 yards in a cloud of dust out in Pebble Beach.
I've covered several games out in Stevenson, and it's a really great experience watching the game on a Saturday afternoon out there. Concessions are amazing, but I got to tell you this, Bruce.
Were you there for when they had the pizza the pizza truck out there one day?
I was out. I know that they've as the clock winds down to 0, North County with a 41-13 lead. One thing I will say about covering a Stevenson game. Amazing restrooms, amazing portable restrooms, the best porta potties in Monterey County. 41-13 is the final score as the clock ticks off here. North County with a tremendous win over Pacific Grove.
Nice homecoming win, and I tell you, PG showing a lot of class on the sideline, not giving up, fighting hard to the very end, and you've got Coach Gomes, putting the brakes on, taking the foot off the accelerator a little bit, giving his kids a shot to play. And really, we saw a lot from DeCousins tonight.
Yep.
We saw a lot from Robles. There's a lot to be real happy with.
Isaiah Solorio, Abel Ruiz, Lupe Sanchez also contributing to the Condors win. And Friday Night Lights, MCAETtv, live from Condor Country, North Monterey County High School. This is it for me, Bruce. It's been a wonderful ride, and I'll be watching you next week, and I know you're going to do great things.
Godspeed, Marcus. It's been a pleasure working with you.
All right, and to everyone in the booth, give a shout out to all of our production staff and our crew and our student crew as well. And Hamish, hopefully we did you proud tonight, man.
Love you, Hamish.
Signing off from North Monterey County High School, Marcos Cabrera, Bruce Deeney. We are out of here. See you next week.
The preceding program was made possible in part by the Nancy Eccles and Homer Hayward Family Foundation, the Digital Media Foundation, Yellow Brick Road, and the Arts Council for Monterey County. A big thank you from MCAETtv.